Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Eagles content creator, the legend, Lord Brunson. Man, it is so an honor to have you on, man.
I appreciate you, man. We were supposed to do this a while ago, but no better time than now since the Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers are in fact in the NFC Championship game. How you feeling, bro?
It's feeling great, man. This is a great week, man. This is two of the best football teams, without a doubt, man. Just two dogs, just fighting.
You know what I mean? I agree, and I feel like it's shaped out beautifully. You know what I mean? I feel like the two teams that's supposed to be in this game are in this game. The 1 seed, the 2 seed, no 7 seed straggling along that just got hot at the right time. You know what I mean? No overblown teams. These teams are in fact the real deal. So it's going to be a good one.
Without a doubt, man. That's for sure, man. And you're right about it. It's been a while since we even had this idea, and I guess this was the perfect time. Why not in the morning? Just kicking it with Lord Brunson, man. And, hey, you got Hurts season, so it has to be great to see Jalen Hurts elevated this year, right?
No, man, it's been phenomenal. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like I told you so kind of person, but, I saw it coming because work ethic. You know what I mean? The work ethic speaks for itself. The bumps and bruises that he's taken, along the way to get to this point and the way that he bounces back from things. I knew that it was going to be a special season, especially with a lot of the offseason acquisitions. You got a lot of quarterbacks who are just put in right places or who are just in, the right place at the right time, kind of. But with Jalen Hurts, he was benched in college, sat behind Tua, had to watch Tua win the national championship. He was drafted in the second round. Everybody passed on him. He came here to sit behind Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? After, starting and coming in for Carson Wentz, he still had to fight for his job and beat off Gardner Minshew. You know what I mean? The dude just been fighting since he's been, touching the football. And it's not ironic to see that the first time he gets the same play callers, you know what I mean, in back-to-back seasons that he's flourishing like this. So, I knew this was going to happen, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves all the praise because he's doing a great job for this team. I mean, he's making this offense so unpredictable. Like, he's got the skill set, the dual threat ability, and he can throw the ball. And he caught my attention. I watched a lot of Oklahoma football. When he transferred from Alabama, he did pretty well. He put up some crazy numbers for the Sooners.
Yeah, he did, man. He was a beast, man. Heisman finalist. He was up there with Burrow, Fields, Chase. You know what I mean? And then there's Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? I feel like people forget how good he was in college. The stigma around, his mobility, it is why a lot of people are having to eat their words and backtrack. You still got some stubborn people who don't want to say, well, damn, he's good. You know what I mean? They're still waiting to see if anything happens. But, come on, man, you can't point to a game this season that the Eagles have lost because of Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? Being second team All-Pro was deserving. Being an MVP finalist is deserving. You know what I mean? None of this is because of roster. This guy is the system. If it was because of roster, Gardner Minshew would have at least beat the Saints. You know what I mean? But, make it make sense.
Yeah, it proved how much of a difference he was when he was not on the field. Like 15-1 as a starter. So he's already done his part. Like, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. But what caught you by surprise with Nick Sirianni as the head coach, man? Like, has he done a lot better than last year for sure?
I think he's the same as last year. Honestly, you got to think about how the season ended for us last year. We had to win like 7 straight games to make it to the playoffs. You know what I mean? We weren't very good the first, half of the season last year. We were way too pass heavy. You know what I mean? It was at a historical proportion that we were abandoning the run. Miles Sanders didn't even have a rushing touchdown last year. You know what I mean? We were just throw. I don't know what Nick Sirianni was thinking, but, then, something clicked. You know what I mean? We could throw the ball, but we can't abandon the run. Nick Sirianni, is one of the few coaches that I've seen adjust mid-season. He did that last year. He adjusted in the middle of the season and said, well, let's start running the ball a little more as well. And then that's how we ended up in the postseason. Now we got dismantled by Tom Brady and the Bucs, but that was a great learning experience for the Philadelphia Eagles. This year, I think Nick Sirianni knows like how important the run is and how important it is to kind of, build around a guy like Jalen Hurts and his skill set while still, implementing these new weapons. Nobody would have ever thought that from Jalen Hurts' arm, you would have a new franchise leader for a season in receiving yards in A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown almost had 1,500 receiving yards. Devontae Smith on the other side of that has 1,100 receiving yards. You know what I mean? And who's was Santa Claus wasn't throwing the ball. Jalen Hurts was throwing the ball to these guys. So, the development in the pocket from Jalen Hurts, I think, is what really took this team to the next level. You know what I mean? You could talk about putting talent around people, but ultimately Jalen Hurts had to prove that he was better from the pocket, and he's done that. He was top 5 most of the year in all statistical categories. You know what I mean? And I just think Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts' chemistry from the bumps and bruises that they went through, you know what I mean? They developed it from there. So I think Nick Sirianni should have been Coach of the Year finalist. You know what I mean? It's crazy that he's not. Doesn't make sense, but that's not the award we after.
Well, that's something to take into fuel. I think I seen what you were saying about like mentioning him in that discussion, not getting that Coach of the Year category, which I believe he should have been because he did a pretty good job for what he did this year. But you can't go wrong with Shanahan. Also, there's a lot of good candidates. But, man, Brandon Graham didn't even get nominated for Comeback Player of the Year also. This guy's coming back from an Achilles injury.
Right.
And it's at his age, you would think he would not play the same, right?
Exactly. You know what I mean? At his age, he had a career year. He's 34 now. He's never had double-digit sacks. He did that this year, coming off an Achilles tear. I think Shanahan is deserving because, it ain't easy to have your third string. They have 3 quarterback changes. It ain't easy to, have your third string quarterback come in and keep winning the amount of games that they winning. You know what I mean? That's good coaching right there. That's worthy of Coach of the Year. I think what stems from, most of the Philadelphia Eagles snubs this year is some of the voters, man. You know what I mean? I think the voting system is flawed for real, because you got guys that's very outspoken like Chris Sims. Chris Sims will die on the hill that Jalen Hurts isn't good. He just said Daniel Jones is better than him like 2 days ago. He will die on this hill, and he's a guy who has a vote. You know what I mean? He's outspoken with his negativity about the Philadelphia Eagles. Dan Sileo, another guy who will die on this hill about negative comments about the Philadelphia Eagles, and he has a vote. I think people with platforms who are just openly biased shouldn't be able to have a vote. You know what I mean? Brandon Graham for Comeback Player of the Year, I thought it was a no-brainer. I mean, Geno Smith a finalist. What does Geno Smith come back from? Being mid. You know what I mean? Being mid. You know what I mean? Being a backup. You know what I mean? Saquon injury, I get it. Who was the other guy? Somebody else was injured. McCaffrey injury, I get it. You know what I mean? Brandon Graham injury makes sense. It just don't make sense for Geno Smith to be there. But we ain't crying over that. Like I said, this is not the award we want, man. We want the Lombardi. And unfortunately, Brock Purdy is standing in our way.
Absolutely. For him. Absolutely. Like, what's your thoughts of Brock Purdy, man? Because, realistically, man, when I saw this injury come up to our third quarterback, I'm like, man, this is going to be a long-ass season.
Yeah, so honestly, for me, I think it's a little bit of hype there. But winning breeds hype, though. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to get. You're supposed to get the hype that comes with, winning the amount of games. I don't think he's really been tested, if you want me to be honest. The Dallas Cowboys game, that was the first game last week that he's faced a defensive front that finished in the top 12. The Dallas Cowboys were 12. He's two games at home in the playoffs, one against the 7th seed in Geno Smith. You know what I mean? Everybody knew it was inevitable for Geno Smith to, crumble, especially against a defense like you all. And Dak Prescott, Dak Prescott don't go past the divisional round. You know what I mean? I think he's good. You know what I mean? I think he's decent. I think he's okay. But this is the real test for him. You know what I mean? He has to go on the road now, and he has to show that he can do that. Now, I think that the 49ers are not going to have him going out there throwing the ball 30 times. It's our job to make that happen. It's our job to, shut down the run and shut down the small passes and the quick passes. And I think you guys haven't seen a defense like ours. You know what I mean? We've seen good defenses this year. So, I think Brock, we got to wait and see for real.
I mean, you're right. We haven't faced you guys this season. I mean, you guys give us the real test. Like, okay, Dallas was a legit test too, but it wasn't legit. Yeah, it was legit. Yeah. But when you look at your guys' matchup, okay, your defense, you guys got 4 defensive linemen that got double-digit sacks. Fletcher Cox, he's on the rotation, which is crazy, man, but he still can do it. So it's like you have a lot of guys like your defensive line, they're all dogs. They'll just be right on the field, bro. They're just ferocious. They're I would put them above the rest of the other league because the way you guys play, you guys get to that quarterback consistently.
Yeah, and it's wave after wave after wave. Like you talk about Fletch being on the rotation. Well, that's a guy with 7 sacks. Fletcher Cox will be second on the 49ers in sacks. You know what I mean? He wouldn't be on the rotation for the 49ers because he would be able to provide productivity that you guys aren't getting. Outside of Bosa, you know what I mean? It's not really nobody that you got to worry about. So I think that that's an advantage for the Philadelphia Eagles with our defensive line and our offensive line. I think we have the best, tandem and defensive line and offensive line in the National Football League. The interior pressure is what I'm really, really banking on, this Sunday at 3:00. Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, and then you're sprinkling in Milton Williams, Jordan Davis. It's going to be a lot of pushback in the face of Brock Purdy. And from the film that I saw, Brock Purdy doesn't really like to go left. You know what I mean? Who's on the left side of Brock Purdy? A guy with 11 sacks. Josh Sweat just waiting over there. Who's on the right side? Hassan Reddick. You know what I mean? Arguably defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? So I think our defensive line is going to force Brock Purdy to get the ball out of his hands quick, and we thrive on that. We're a real quick reacting defense. But, we got to see what happens on the field. This is a true test of, strength versus strength. So it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely, man. Like the pressure. But to be fair, Brock did face a lot of this number one defense in practice. But I guess we're going to see what the Eagles can bring because you guys got a lot of good talent players. So it's like, if like you just said, Josh Sweat's another guy that comes out. You got like guys like Hassan Reddick, who's just everywhere on the field. This guy can do it all. Like he's like your hybrid player, but he's an edge rusher. So this guy's like, I thought he was one of the most interesting signings that you guys got in the offseason.
Yeah, I thought it was a great sign. I already knew. Like I caught a lot of flack, man, a lot of flack on social media when I said that Hassan Reddick would have a better season than Michael Parsons. When you look at the numbers, that's exactly what happened. Hassan Reddick. Everywhere he goes, he gets double-digit sacks. This is the third straight year for 3 different teams that he's had double-digit sacks. But with the Philadelphia Eagles, I think it put an extra battery in his back because he is from Camden. You know what I mean? That's a bridge ride away. You know what I mean? He's right down the street. He's basically from Philly. He went to Temple University. Basically, he came home. It's no surprise there that he had the best season of his career. As far as Brock facing, the number one defense a lot in practice, they're not trying to do to him what we trying to do to him on Sunday. You know what I mean? They not, they ain't pushing them on the ground and hitting them and making them get back up. That's not happening. We and our defense, as good as we are with 70 sacks, we're not hitting Jalen Hurts in practice. You know what I mean? These dudes, you got to think about it. We feel disrespected. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with you guys, but the way the media don't put respect on our name. Brandon Graham got snubbed. Hassan Reddick got snubbed. Hargrave got snubbed. You talking about between those 3 guys, it's probably more sacks than you guys got total, just those 3 guys alone. You know what I mean? Brock Purdy down now. ESPN is making comparisons. Is Brock Purdy better than Jalen Hurts? Hell no. Come on, man. Let's be for real.
No, that's like stretching it a little bit. Like I mean,
you know what I mean? It's beyond stretching it. It's beyond stretching it.
Yeah,
listen, every quarterback goes through that stretch of good and bad. Brock Purdy just ain't hit that bad stretch yet. You know what I mean? And once it comes in the wrong time, which is going to be the NFC Championship game, y'all can't turn y'all back on Brock because I think Brock proved, at least to this point, that he could be a starter for you guys. If everybody else, gets traded or isn't healthy, I think Brock proved that at least. You know what I mean? So if he comes out here and stinks the place up in the link on Sunday, I think the message was sent by Brock Purdy that I might have been Mr. Irrelevant, but I damn sure deserve to get drafted higher.
Yeah, he's already making a strong case, winning games,
right?
Not messing up the game. Like most quarterbacks. I mean, in Kyle Shanahan's system, dude, it's more like he takes away the weakness and makes them use to their strength. And he's done pretty well with guys like Brock Purdy. I mean, how do you make this Mr. Irrelevant guy into a capable starter? It's just Shanahan just knows how to use that man's strength a lot better.
Yeah, he does not use his strength. But, again, it goes back to you guys really not playing anybody that can really exploit that, though. You know what I mean? You really haven't played anybody like CMC and Debo and Kittle. Those are dogs, man. Those are dogs. Just having those 3 guys in the same offense alone messes up any game plan week in and week out. You got to have a top defense to combat that type of energy. I can't forget about Brandon Ayuk. He leads y'all in receiving yards. You got to have a top defense to be able to match that energy, man. Slay and Bradbury, the best cornerback tandem in the league. You got the best defensive line in the league. I think TJ Edwards got the most tackles out of anybody out of both teams. I think he got more tackles than you guys. Now, you guys got the better linebacking core for real. hands down. But TJ Edwards is definitely one of those ones. You know what I mean? Over 100 tackles already on the year. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's had over 100 tackles. So I feel like, with Avonte Maddox playing in this game, it really unlocks who we really are as a defense, because you can have, Gardner Johnson go back to safety. We're going to throw a lot of looks at Brock Purdy that he's never seen. There's going to be a lot of speed on the field. Listen, it's on the road at the Link, man. On the road at the Link. That's a lot of pressure for any rookie. And rookies are like 0-4 in championship game appearances. So I'm feeling confident about this game. If you want me to be honest, I made a tweet. I said, the Eagles might blow the San Francisco 49ers out. That's not no disrespect to you guys, but this just reminds me so much of when the 2017 Vikings came in here. They were the number one defense. We had a backup quarterback, no 1,000-yard receivers, but we were home at the Link. What was standing in our way for a trip to go to the Super Bowl, and we ultimately won that Super Bowl, was Case Keenum. You know what I mean? Who the hell is Case Keenum? That's how I'm looking at Brock Purdy, and that's how and that's how I approached last week's game as well. Daniel Jones is not going to be the one, and I just don't think Brock Purdy is going to be the one to stop us from going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I just truly believe that he's going to have to show me. If we're going to lose to Brock Purdy at home in the Link from having the best record all year in NFC Championship game, show me that.
We got to see what happens. Like you said, he hasn't proven anything. He's been going against. The only team he's proven was the Cowboys. So I think this is the legitimate real test.
He was running for his life, though. He was running for his life against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys defense did enough. The quarterback stunk it up. The quarterback made just some ferocious and heroic, just not heroic, just horrific mistakes. You know what I mean? And I think the Dallas Cowboys game plan was off. A couple of times in that game, Dak Prescott took the edge and ran for a couple yards. You know what I mean? You can't give that edge to Jalen Hurts, because that couple yards is going to be 20 yards. You know what I mean? And then he absolutely can throw on the run as well. So it's going to be interesting to see our game plan versus you guys' game plan. Listen, I know y'all going to hit him, but this is the real thing. This is the problem with hitting Jalen Hurts right now. He healthy. It don't matter if you hit him. He was running the ball against the Giants. Jalen Hurts is healthy. This is the NFC Championship game. We ain't ducking no smoke. We ain't ducking no hits. We going to run the ball right at y'all with Jalen Hurts, with running backs. It's just all the chips on the table. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You're not even lying about it. Like he should already be healthy. Like he's already running the ball. He hasn't even reached the point. So he's going to probably have this against the Niners. I expect him to run, because if we're going to chase him, I expect him to scramble here and there, because we're going to pressure him. There's going to probably be some plays where we're going to have to force him to throw the ball. Forget about running the ball like the way you guys were doing it, man. You're not going to get 268 yards and 3 touchdowns on this matchup, dude. This is like the number one run defense. So So we're not
going to be able to run the ball the way we ran it against the Giants. I agree, but we do have some areas of success that I believe we can find. You know what I mean? And in passing situations, I think we'll be much better than the Dallas Cowboys, because you're going to try. You have to take away AJ Brown. You have to take. You guys can't guard. You can't guard number one wide receivers. I think AJ Brown, didn't he have like 140 yards on you guys last year in the playoffs or something like that?
No, I think that was guard with Tennessee.
Yeah. Last year with Tennessee. Did you guys play Tennessee last year in the playoffs?
Yeah, no, not in the playoffs. It was on a Thursday night game when we played the Titans.
Okay, yeah, but you guys are struggling against number one wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb had a good game. DK Metcalf had a good game in the last 2 playoff games. So AJ Brown is going to be an extreme point of emphasis. But who the hell is going to guard Devontae Smith? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's kind of what. That's kind of what it boils down to me, man. I feel like Jalen Hurts is making every throw. He's proved that he can make every throw. And when you guys blitz Jalen Hurts, he's been the best at beating the blitz all year. Now, listen, you guys are the real deal on defense, but that secondary can get got. You know what I mean? And if Bosa don't get home, everybody else is capable of being blocked one-on-one on that line. We got the best offensive line in football. You guys are depending on one guy to wreck the game when we have 4 or 5 guys that can wreck the game on our defensive line. So, I actually don't even think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think you guys are going to score a lot of points, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? I don't think you guys are going to score a lot of points. Outside of Trent Williams, I just feel like everybody is food. You have to have Kittle stay back someplace. Kittle got to chip Hassan Reddick, and that takes Kittle out of the passing game. You know what I mean? If Hassan Reddick is one-on-one running free, it's a long night for the right side of that field. You know what I mean? It's a long night for the right side of that field. You know, I'm confident in this game. You know what I mean? That's not going to change until the final buzzer. You know what I mean? The 49ers should be confident as well. These are two teams, but I feel like the slight edge in this one is going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles, if I'm being honest.
Well, number one seed, and you guys are playing at the Link, so that's a tough place.
Right.
So, yeah, you know, there's some weakness on some of your guys as part of your defense, like up the middle. Mm-hmm. You know, if we can exploit that, that can be the X factor. That's where Kittle and maybe McCaffrey can do pretty well. Oh, we can even throw in Debo in some place here and there because we know what he can do after the catch. So that's what kind of
you talking about in terms of running or passing up the middle.
Passing up the middle.
Well, yeah, but you got to realize it's been weak up the middle because Avonte Maddox has missed a lot of games this year. He's healthy now. He's coming back. So that middle seam will now be patrolled by Gardner Johnson, who leads the league in picks. As far as running up the middle, we had issues up until week 10 after we lost to the Commanders. We took our first loss. We went and got Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. We've been a top 10 run stopping defense since. But listen, yards after catch is a big thing. CMC is a dog. Debo Samuel is a dog. We got some guys that are good yards after catch as well. I think in this game is like 5 guys in the top 30 yards after catch. AJ Brown, CMC, George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Dallas Goedert is in there as well. Ayuk, yeah. Ayuk. I think Ayuk wasn't top 30, but he's definitely like top 50. I think I saw on the list, and I think Devontae Smith as well. Actually, as small as he is, so I don't know. I honestly don't know how the defense is going to look with Avonte Maddox back, but I just know when Avonte Maddox is out there, the defense looks crazy. You know what I mean? The defense is on a different level.
Well, I mean, you may look at our pass defense and maybe some suspects, but it's a bend don't break type of pass defense. Facts. You know, we lead the league in interceptions. So you look at our secondary. Yeah, there's some weak spots. Travarius Ward can be off at times, and Lenore. Everybody's been calling this guy the weakest link, but the last 2 games he had 2 interceptions. Tyler Lockett didn't do squat. 4 catches, 16 yards, and Michael Gallup. What did he do? Nothing. Shut down all day. I don't know how this guy's stepping up, but yeah, you know, there's some weak spot on the secondary, no doubt. But we just got to figure out ways to adjust in the coverage. It's always started in the first half. The way we start off, it's like, I don't get it, but it's like, why do we give up these plays? Like Kufanga could be unpredictable.
Yeah, he can, but he scares me too, though. Like he scares me, man, with the way, you know. I mean, if there was somebody that looked just like Troy Polamalu, it was probably him. I know that's high praise, but dude definitely scares me, man, when he's around the line of scrimmage because he times the blitz very, very well. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be our chance. You know what I mean? Because we picked the blitz up well, and Jalen Hurts is probably the best decision maker at the position. You know what I mean? This year, you know, he is the best, hands down. Nothing rattles him. You know what I mean? He always makes the right decision when he knows the blitz is coming. I feel like, you know, that he knows the playbook like the back of his hand. He knows exactly what to do. He's not out here, you know, trying to force any plays or anything like that. But, you know, Devontae Smith is a huge part of what we do. Our number 2 wide receiver is a huge part of what we do. So I think Lenore is going to kind of get picked on a little bit in this game. But, you know, AJ Brown was a little frustrated about the number of targets or whatever last week. So, you know, I think our wide receivers are going to respond well against the secondary. I think that's the advantage that we have.
Yeah, you guys are gonna. You guys on paper should be able to have a field day with this type of matchup. I mean, AJ Brown should have a better game. Right. Devontae Smith should look pretty solid. I mean, I expect your receivers to at least do a lot better than the previous matchups that we had with those other receivers. I mean, you have a lot of weapons, so that's no doubt. Like Dallas Goedert, he's gonna have to be doing a lot better than Dalton Schultz did. I mean, because we limit him to 5 catches, 27 yards. But I know Goddard is going to have at least a better matchup wise, you know?
Yeah. Goddard will do fairly better, but he'll primarily be covered by guys like Fred Warner. Yep. So, you know what I mean? And you know, Fred Warner has to pay attention to Dallas Goedert. You know, Fred Warner is very capable of taking Dallas Goedert out of this game plan. But with that being said, if he takes Dallas Goedert out of the game plan, we just go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, we got the weapons. One thing I am concerned about, though, is you guys' red zone defense. Like, it's like airtight. You know what I mean? And this is a game to where field goals could be very important. You know what I mean? It could be, a very short supply of, big plays. You know what I mean? And you have to kind of be able to work in that red zone. But what we have that, the other teams that you guys face didn't have is a mobile quarterback. I looked at you guys' losses this year. I think all four of them kind of came to mobile quarterbacks. A lot of people say, you guys are missing a lot of pieces, this, that, and the third. But, I don't really use that type of thing as an excuse. If the identity of the defense is to be aggressive in the play, it's kind of next man up. But one game you guys were missing like 8 starters. I think when you lost to the Falcons. So, you really can't overcome that. But, I think in the red zone, having a mobile quarterback could crack the code of you guys' airtight defense. But, it's all about how we're going to utilize Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that could be one of the cheat codes that everybody says, because that mobile quarterback, they can just move it out of the pocket or try to just use their mobility into their advantage. The way we played against the mobile quarterbacks, some of our losses came against mobile quarterbacks, like the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields. Marcus Mariota, before he got benched, he was very effective. Russell Wilson, even at that point, man, he was still effective against us with that Broncos defense. I don't understand how we lost to that team, but it was probably for the better. Mahomes, he can be very mobile at times, man. That dude could be mobile, but he's more of a traditional pocket passer, but he can run.
Yeah. Mahomes definitely can run. I think, but this is why, a lot of people like to have this knock on a mobile quarterback, but if Mahomes can't run against the Bengals, they're going to lose that game. Mahomes runs against – well, when Mahomes does decide to run, it's very timely. It's always moving the chains. When Mahomes runs, it's often for a first down because everybody's so scared of how deadly his arm is. Like, I could just get this 7 yards. He's faster than he looks too. So, I think Mahomes being mobile was definitely a big part of how they beat the 49ers.
Yeah, because he can make off-script plays and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
And even though with the high ankle sprain, that can be a concern right there. But the Bengals, I don't know how they're just there, man. They're just dogs too. They're just fighting.
Man, it's Burrow, man. It's Burrow, man. I keep telling people, man, Burrow is the one, bro. I think it's Burrow, man. Burrow just finds himself like Burrow is just he and Jalen Hurts just like they be stone faced, man. They just feel like they know where they're gonna go. You know what I mean? It's like just destiny to these type of guys. But listen, I'm not going to put all this on Brock Purdy and say he got to show up. Hurts still got to do his thing too, though. You know what I mean? Hurts still got to do his thing, man. It's no better way, and both of these guys got a lot riding on this. It's no better way to silence all the people who passed you in the draft, who said you couldn't do this, who had all these bad things to say by going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't make this opportunity, so this is a huge opportunity for Brock Purdy, and it's a huge opportunity for Jalen Hurts. It's all going to come down to, to the small things. I think for the Philadelphia Eagles, I think it's going to come down to attention to detail. Like you got to tackle, you know what I mean? No bad penalties. You know what I mean? It's all going to come down to those things, the small details, knowing these blocking schemes of the 49ers, like paying attention is key. The physicality, we can easily match the physicality. Easily we can match the physicality. We got the best offensive line in the league at moving people around. You know what I mean? We can easily match the physicality. You guys can match the physicality as well. The details are going to come into play. How well are your cornerbacks going to pay attention to detail to what the Philadelphia Eagles wide receivers do?
You know what I mean? Do their assignments the proper way, because AJ Brown, he's just a physical type receiver. He's more of a complete receiver than DK Metcalf, if I'm being honest. Like, he's more consistent. He's a tough matchup. Like, ever since you guys got him in the trade, dude, he's put up bigger numbers than he's ever had in Tennessee. And the fact that you guys got him in the trade, man, I thought that was the robbery of the offseason, man, by far.
Yeah, it was, and we had all those first-round picks. Everybody's thinking we're going quarterback. They even had me thinking we were going to trade those first-round picks for a quarterback. But, lo and behold, they in the building just as much as, many Eagles fans and Oklahoma fans around the world kind of believed in, Jalen Hurts. So they went and put weapons around him and look at the product. You know what I mean? Look at the product. So, I'm excited to see, the career of both Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. I'm excited to see how these young guys do, you know what I mean? Because they're doing a hell of a job of showing that they could carry a team, you know what I mean, while they're not really being that damning in terms of, affecting the salary cap to their franchise. You know what I mean? The right teams are here. You know what I mean? The future of the NFL is going to be on TV this Sunday.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the best part about those quarterbacks, they're the future. And like you said, the salary cap, because they're on the rookie contract. So,
right.
And it wasn't that long ago that Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts played each other. I mean, they played one of the most shootout games. I mean, this has got the making of a legendary, man. This can be talked about for a while. This is the NFC Championship.
Yeah. I could see this game being on ESPN Classic, in like 2 years. You know what I mean? I could see this game, I could see this game being replayed back. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be there. I was there for the divisional game. I'm trying to get out there for the NFC Championship, man. I'm trying to see how my schedule looking. But this is definitely, a must go to. You know what I mean? If you're an Eagles fan, if you can afford it, if you got the time or whatever the case may be, because the last time we hosted an NFC Championship game was 2017. You know what I mean? The Dallas Cowboys ain't been in the NFC Championship game in 28 years. The Washington Commanders has been 30 years for those guys. So that should let you know, just how far and few between these opportunities are. So if you could be out there, you know what I mean? If it ain't going to hurt you too much, I would definitely go, man. I would advise that to any fan.
No, I mean, I've been down to those games. I mean, down Levi's, so it's pretty cool. But
right.
It's got to be fun too, right?
Oh man, it's amazing, man. The tailgating experience, the people. You know what I mean? It's not amazing for who we playing. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's a football atmosphere. You know what I mean? It's what football is about, man. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy never happens to nobody out there, man. A lot of the rumors and stuff like that. It's a football environment. Everybody always gets home safe. You know what I'm saying? If you know me, you definitely get home safe. It's none of that crazy stuff happen out there, man. It's just a good football environment, man. I would love to go to San Fran, man. I don't know if we seen y'all on the schedule, but if we do, I definitely would try to make it out there for sure.
Man, if you go down there, let me know, man. Maybe I'll try to get me a ticket down there, dude. Because, I mean, it's always good to meet up with all good content creators, man.
Yeah. It's always good, man. It's always good to meet the content creators. So, you know what I mean? If you ever in the town, if you ever in Philly, just look me up.
For sure, man. I got you. I'll hit you up, man. But yeah, dude, hey, speaking of you, dude, you were a war veteran, right? You served your country.
Yeah. Yep, I was in Afghanistan, Iraq. Yep.
Yeah, man. I gotta respect that, man. Like, dude, you put your heart out, man, and that's how passionate you are about your team, because you show that mentality, man, that warrior spirit and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I wouldn't change none of that. I would do it all again if I had to do it, because it opened up some great. I was able to travel the world. You know what I mean? At a young age, I was able to get out of the city and stay out of trouble. So you know what I mean? Actually, it saved my life. You know what I mean? I met some lifelong friends who I talk to every day, guys that I've been in Afghanistan with. So yeah, man, it was definitely a heck of an experience for a guy. Listen, I've seen more than most 35-year-olds seen. I'll just put it that way.
I'm pretty sure, man. But yeah, this is going to be a war, man, for this matchup. But like you said, man, if you ever come down Santa Clara, man, let me know, man. I might even be down there. Who knows? Yeah,
man. Listen. I'm gonna make sure you down there. If I come down there, listen. If you need help with a ticket, I'm gonna make sure, man. We definitely gonna link up. You're the only person I know, only 49er fan that I know. So I'm definitely gonna link up, man, with you.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I've been watching your content for a while, man. So I've been doing my due diligence, man. Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that, man. I've been keeping my eye on you as well, man. You know what I mean? I don't collab with nobody who I don't like. So if you ever see me share a screen with you, I already looked at you. I already looked at your content. So yeah, man. You be doing your thing, man. You definitely gotta keep pushing, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that takes a lot, man. And I've been working behind the scenes with a lot of your fan base and quite a few other people. So I got to get click going on. Hey, you're included also. So everybody has their own.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, but Hurts season, man. I don't know, man. Let's see how it happens, bro. I mean, I like the product, man. You're making it more like a thing, like, hey, man, we'll see what happens. But I know, man. But hey, you definitely got to see how this game comes out, man. I got a feeling in the next couple of years it's going to still be talked about, and it might even be discussed in the next 30 years. Who knows?
Right. This could spawn a new rivalry. This could spawn an Eagles 49ers rivalry. You know what I mean? It could, because if we, I'm gonna say when we beat you guys, we're gonna rub that in Dallas' face, because they can't beat you guys for some reason. You know what I mean? when we beat you guys, we're gonna let Dallas know that we had to handle their business. They need to be thanking us.
Oh, I mean, if it's the other way around, if we somehow pull it off, man, Dallas would probably have to deal with it also. But then, dude, we'll pretty much just tell them, hey, man, what took you guys so long to get to a Super Bowl?
Exactly right. Well, what took you so long to get to an NFC Championship game? You know what I mean? Not even a Super Bowl, right? But yeah, man, definitely was a pleasure, man, rocking with you, bro. We definitely could talk about the game afterwards. If you down, I'm down, bro.
Yeah, just hit me up. I'll just go on your show instead, man. Just let
me know. Yeah. We definitely could do that.
Yeah, I'll hit you up, man. I got you.
All right, bro.
All right, take it easy, bro. And for everybody else, go check out Lord Brunson. Oh, I was going to ask you one more question. Your prediction, final score prediction, and your X factors.
I got the Eagles winning this game 28-17. My X factor for this game, I think it'll be Hassan Reddick.
Okay.
I think Hassan Reddick will be. I think Hassan Reddick will cause damage in this game.
Okay, so my score prediction was it's going to be a close game, little physicality in between. Mm-hmm. I say 24-29ers. X factor, it has to be George Kittle.
Yeah. That's a good one because I think he has the most. I think he has the most favorable matchups. If you put him against one of those safeties, or if you get a matchup against a linebacker, I think his matchup is very, very, very favorable. So I could see George Kittle being the X factor if you guys win.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, shout out to my boy Bird Gang. Hey, but
Bird Gang, what up?
Yeah, what up, man? Hey, me and LB are gonna bounce, bro. So hey, anybody else who hasn't checked out Lord Brunson, man, you guys are missing out, man. This guy does great content. He does realistic as it gets. I mean, dude, there's no other better Eagles content creator besides Philly 500 and you, man.
I appreciate that, man. You know, we work real hard, man. Me and 500 work real hard, man, to make sure we put out the best content. And you know, I think collabs like this help. You know what I mean? When you collab with somebody and you shed the spotlight, because Philly 500 collabed with me. I think it was once upon a time he was like at 5,000 subs. I had like 200 subs, something like that. And, you know, he collabed with me. So, you know, that, you know, it's all about shedding light on others, man. And, you know, you never know who you run into.
Yeah, you know what, man? Like, if I mention you, I'm not throwing shots, bro. I'm doing that.
No. Listen. I know how. Listen, I know how I go. Listen, I might mention you. I know how I go, man.
It's cool. I like it. Friendly little fire, but friendly.
Yeah, that's how I got to be, man. It's football, man. But you know, we definitely gonna schedule, you know, on my channel for after the game. You know, I want to get your reaction and what you thought on the season. Yeah, let's make that happen.
Yeah, dude. Just give me the schedule. By then, when we get a chance, we'll definitely figure that out, man. I'm down.
All right, man. So enjoy the rest of your morning.
You too, man. Have a good day. And everybody else, have a good day, man.